with the backend team. After that, we're moving on with Cohort's front-end team, and finally with the backend. So these projects are really related. So that's the reason why we put this order. Okay, so well, and this is your space.
Thank you. I just want to congratulate the Halberton participants that are watching today. I think you are going to enter in a very exciting mode of opportunities, new challenge. And remember, you are ready to start learning because the learning never ends. And then Paulina will help you and guide you through the career development process. I guess some of you maybe already have a good job, but most important, you are now part of the community, global community of thousands of hobbies around the world. And then you should be proud of your accomplishment and be ready for the success in your life from now on. Thank you.
Really good. Thank you for that, Fernando. So as you said, I think all of you know me, but it's a good moment to say that, of course, I'm currently in charge of the career development process. So this is after all the hobbies finish their software foundations process. And right now, Nata Paredes is going to present herself. She's the program manager and is the one that help hobbies in all the process for foundations. So, Nata.
Thank you, Paulina, Fernando. Thank you for your words, for all the people who are invited, the special guests. Thank you for your time. We really appreciate it. For our hobbies, it's very important to be here, to be able to receive your feedback, your opinions, and so that way they are able to get better and be prepared for the real world. That's how I tell them, like, now you are going to the real world, and we are very proud of being here today. And especially for me, I'm very happy to see you here shining, all of you. I saw you from the first day, and now I see you here your last day, and it makes me very proud. I've seen your hard work. I've seen I have lived your emotions. So I know this is not easy. This has not been an easy journey, but you all made it. So congratulations, hobbies. And for the ones who are watching us, who are starting this process, let's do this. You are able to do it. You are more than capable of doing it. And yes, we can be developers, and we can have that life that we want, and we can accomplish our dreams. And Holberton is part of this. So we are very proud of you guys. Let's start. Let's start with our pitch presentations. I want to see my first group, our speaker, Gerson.
Hello, thanks, Nata.
Hi, Gerson. Oh, good.
Hi,
How are you
everyone.
feeling?
Actually, I woke up a little sick today, so I do want to apologize before the presentation for that. I am going to do to the best of my ability. I am going to do this, excuse me, to the best of my abilities. I am going to do the best that I can do with my throat being sick. And again, I do want to apologize if I cough suddenly. But let's continue on with the presentation.
No, you got it.
Just,
You got it.
just a reminder, sorry that I interrupt you guys. So a reminder for the special guest and people from companies that are here, of course, they're not staff from Holberton. I already sent an email yesterday with the link of the pitch, like rubric evaluation you can have in mind, maybe to provide the feedback in the end and also ask questions. And to remind everyone here, each pitch is going to have 5 minutes. And after that, we will continue with the comments and next groups. Okay, just to have that little reminder. So, Gerson, go ahead.
Thank you. And remember,
Thank you.
let's keep it in English. Let's keep this session in English. Questions, feedback, everything in English, please. Go ahead, Gerson.
Okay, perfect. So Danny, if you will, please.
Yes, good morning, everyone. Let me share my screen, please.
Okay,
Ready.
perfect. Thank you. So my name is Gerson Briascos again, and I'm going to present to you VIPtop10.com. So traveling is fun, but you don't know where to go when you're a tourist? Do you want to experience the best of your touristic destinations, but you don't know where they are? Well, this happened to Roger. He was very excited when he finally got to travel to Colombia. And as expected, he wanted to experience everything this country had to offer. But the first thing he could think of was the food. He asked many of the locals, but the answer for the best place was always different, and the opinions always differed regarding each place. Roger did not know which place he could choose since all of them seemed so nice. Until, of course, one of the locals recommended to him a very nice webpage that could help him decide very easily. So, for those of you who want to travel and need to know which are the best places to visit in your destination, we got VIPtop10.com. VIPtop10.com is a webpage that ranks 10 of the best places you can go to depending on the category of your choosing. Do you want to know which are the best restaurants or which is the best car rental service? In VIPtop10.com, we got you covered. On many occasions, we have a vague idea as to where to go when we visit a certain touristic destination. But doing so much investigation in our traveling plan can get a little too tedious and it can take too long. VIPtop10.com makes this research easier. You only have to select the country and city you are visiting and the category of your choosing, so you can see all this place has to offer. When you select any of the categories this page has to offer, a list with the 10 best ranked places of the category will show. Each place on the list comes with a referential image, the name of the place as well as the address so you can easily locate it. The design of this web page is focused on a simple and direct navigation for the user. This way we guarantee easy and fast queries. Continuing, we had our fair amount of challenges in this project. For example, we had to adapt the web page so it could be responsive and accessible from any device. That was solved with the implementation of React.js. There was also the implementation of the technologies we had to study, and the connection with the backend database proved to be a challenge as well, which was resolved with Axios. And finally, our last challenge was finding a definitive design for the page, since we had so many ideas and options regarding the styles and colors. So for this scenario, we had to go with an equal color palette for most of the elements. This project was developed with the following technologies: HTML5, CSS, React.js, and Bootstrap. And finally, our team members are Daniel Ortiz as our UI designer. He is responsible for creating the visual design and aesthetic appearance of the project's user interface. Camilo Zapata as our UX developer. He focuses on improving usability and user experience in the front-end project. Junior Santana as our front-end developer. He is responsible for translating user interface designs and specifications into HTML, CSS, and JavaScript code. And finally, Gerson Riascos, that will be me, as our accessibility specialist. I am dedicated to ensuring that the front-end project complies with web accessibility standards, and while doing so, I also assist with UI and UX design. It goes without saying that, although we specialize in certain areas, we all contributed and helped our teammates in this project. That was our presentation. We really hope that you enjoyed it, and we thank you for your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gerson. Let's move on. Let's move on with the questions. Congratulations, Gerson. I see Hernando. You have your hand up.
Congratulations. Quick question. This has been deployed in that URL?
Come again, please.
That URL is already, the project has been deployed live?
It has not been deployed.
Thank you.
Not yet. I apologize for that. Okay,
So,
any other questions?
I saw Andres. You were raising your hand, Andres?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
What considerations did you have when thinking about accessibility?
When thinking about accessibility, I actually focused on making the page able to be displayed on any device. So it could be easier for users to access the web page.
What about meta tag descriptions of the images, making considerations for screen readers and other elements that you can have in HTML to make it easy for people that may have assistive devices or assistive settings on their browser?
Regarding that, we do have certain descriptions for the images, but unfortunately, we did not think that far, since the first thing we thought of when we're making the web page was to directly make the page easier to be reached. That is something that we planned on actually, well, we plan on adding to the page though.
And one final question, you used React, and in terms of accessibility, what happens if JavaScript is disabled? Is the website still able to deliver its value to its users?
For most of the page, yes. So there are some functions that may be disabled, but for most of the page, if JavaScript is disabled, with React.js, many of the things, well, most of the things will be deployed still.
How did you connect to the backend?
We connected a certain part. As for the other part, we were not able to do it as of today. We do plan on doing it, so we can actually well, not to deploy the web page, that since that actually is a decision for elaboration, but we plan on connecting everything, so everything is completely usable, and well, the elaboration can just deploy it if they want to.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Gerson. Congratulations on the good work.
Thank you.
Andres, thank you for your question. Thank you, Gerson. I don't know if any of the other special guests have any comments, feedback, recommendations.
I have a question, mostly related to like the way that you guys work. Like, I know that you all did the same bootcamp, right? And like probably you learn like things along the way. How do you organize yourself, like for the project? Because probably the one of the first like team projects that you've done. Like, how do you organize yourself? How do you set roles? Like, how do you decide this guy is gonna be the front end? This is gonna be like the UX, the accessibility. Like, how do you do that? And how do you coordinate? And what were the challenges related to like organizing yourself, like in a team project for the first time?
Well, regarding that, for organization, we used Trello for our team, and when organizing ourselves, actually there was not much of a problem, because well, we actually get along very well. So if we needed something, so I'll say, oh, I can take up this task, so you can actually start managing this other task. But actually, I see Danny wants to respond to that as well?
Yes. Good morning, everyone. And complementing what my partner said, the role of the kind of one of the group, it's very flows very natural. Each one of us take a role naturality, and in my case, I assume the role of the UI developer because I have experience, a little bit of experience in design. So I take the role, I take the initiative in the very first moments of this project. And so this way we take everyone, it takes had his own role in this project.
Thank you, Santiago, Daniel, Gerson. Thank you. So, any more questions or feedback? For Ali? Hi, Alex. Go ahead.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, great job, guys. I have a couple of questions. The first one is related with automation testing. Did you include any of those as part of your workflow?
Daniel, you want to respond to this question, or should I respond?
Did you repeat the question? I got a bad connection.
Yeah, sure, no worries. I was wondering if you included any automated testing as part of your process.
No, in this moment, in this part of the project, we don't have include any testing of the calls of the API or the functions we created to implement any component of the page.
Okay, got it. And the second question that I had was related with the integration with the backend. You mentioned that you haven't done the integration yet, so I was wondering, did you mock the endpoints or the APIs, or how do you handle that?
We use Axios for the calls of the API, and we receive the get method for the countries in the search bar, and the cities is a method, is a post method that needs the name of the city to work, and the calls the cities stores in the database. That's it. That's the connection we make in the version of the page that we have till today.
Okay, got it. Have you given any thought about what kind of database you might require in order to solve these queries that you're actually sending to the backend?
The database, it's built in base of list of items that it's built in an easy way, a key value architect. So we call through these keys, but because we need the call of the country, we write the key we need to call to give this country to select in the search bar.
Got it. Perfect. Now, my own recommendation that I will give you to you now, guys, is think about how would you structure this data for scalability. My main concern with the design that you currently have is that it will present certain limitations in the way that you're actually acquiring information. So perhaps thinking into more different structures of kind of data that you can use in your database would make more sense instead of applying just a key value solution. Of course, it will require a little bit more digging into how you are actually integrated with the backend, and perhaps that's a certain point that I will consider a limitation on your current design for scalability. So if I would say anything that you might I find valuable on what could be of help for you guys is to start thinking about in the future how would you scale this regarding the structure of the data. And for the rest,
so
I keep you guys.
Thank you so much, Alex.
Alex, thank you so much. And for the hobbies who just presented, thank you. I see that Leonardo and Eliezer raised their hands. So we're gonna finish with you guys, okay? Leonardo and Eliezer, and then we move on to the next group.
Hi, I think it was a good presentation, a good speech. The design of the web page, I think it was great. It would have been great to see the web page deployed, but okay, for the next time. I have one question. How do you think, or what is the idea to create the top 10 list? I didn't listen that part. You're talking about a top 10, but it's not really clear how you are going to get that top 10 places.
The idea of creating a top 10 page is handle many options of a category in a city. You can see in the list keywords that help you to define what is your better option. It's ranked based in the API of Google Ranks, but you have to choose your own place in base of the list that we present in the page.
Okay. I was thinking it was something like voting or something like that.
In this moment, the page rank is static.
Okay.
It's a call that we have it's information we have from the backend, and we use to organize the list in the page.
Thank you. Just one more question. What was your biggest challenge here as a team? Because there are a lot of challenges when we create a project like this, but what do you think was the biggest challenge?
I think the biggest challenge of this project is the architecture of the project. The many ways we can build the roads of the pages. It's knowledge that we appreciate to learn in the of this experience.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so guys, first I want to say congratulations. It was a really good presentation. I was really impressed with the introduction. I was like, am I in a movie? What is this? So I want to say that you did a great effort. I have one recommendation. I've been with you guys through the whole process, so I've been talking to you a lot of more things. But just one recommendation. But I know it's gonna be part of your learning through the day-to-day of a software developer, and it's like start from the experience of the user. Like if you start from what the user is gonna it's gonna get from the application, then you can go to when you need to code. Like but that's basically something that I think we learn through our career. It's not something that you learn from scratch, because normally you just want to code things, right? So I'm just gonna say that, like, every time focus on the value that you're going to give to the users, to your client, and then from that you can build something that is really good. That's the only thing I would say. And I know that you guys are going to be learning more of that through your careers, because I know that you have a really great capability of learning things. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much, Eli, for your company in this project and for your recap in this presentation.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Laboratio, for this opportunity as well. Thank you for all your feedback. Congratulations. This is the Laboratio front end group for the special guests. If you are filling out the form we sent you, this is Laboratio front end. Let's move on with the same company, but backend. Maybe a lot of questions are going to be answered with this group. Where is Ovid?
Yes, good morning.
Hi,
I hope
Ovid.
everyone's excellent.
Yes, we are. So you're ready? Are you in the
Yes,
hosting?
I'm sharing my screen.
Okay.
Mm. Let me give me a second, please. Mm. Yeah.
Yes, it's better for you to find a better place for your connection in the whole big house. No, he's free. Now they told me I was freeze. Yes, they just told me I have a bad connection. Thank you, Chris. So, Ovid, are you ready?
Yes, can you hear me? Well,
Yes, we do.
okay, thank you. Excuse me. I'm having some connection issues. Let me share my screen. Mm, mm, mm. Mm, mm, mm. Let me think. I'm having a problem. Excuse me. Just a second. Yeah. Well, can you see my screen there?
Yes.
Good. But, well, let me think. A second, please.
Mute Ovid.
Excuse me. We're having some issues. I'll just send the presentation. Well, listo. Well, good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to have you here, and thank you for taking the time to join us. Well, today I'll introduce you to the VIP Top 10 project, and I hope you really enjoyed it. Can you imagine a world when you'll never need to worry about to go to a different country and a different city and waste your time waiting in maps, places to eat, to visit, to have fun? Well, now you don't need to do it. For that reason, we built our API, and without any complication and more speculation, you have everything you need in a single place. Alejo, te saltaste uno. Well, for that reason, we built the VIP Top 10 API, and it's a complete solution for all these problems. It's customizable, easy to use, and ready to deploy. Now, as developer, you only need to go to the project, install the project, set up the project, and run it. More easy, it's impossible. Let's take a look at an example of how you can use it. First, you run the app, and you will have access to all the available endpoints. To ensure security, there's an API key validation, which returns an unauthorized response if you don't have the API key. Finally, we'll show you how to make the correct API keys to retrieve the information you need. And as you can see, there are some validators to ensure the data. As a team, we encounter various challenges during the development process. And some of them was, how can we fill the database? How can we create the database? How can we create the structure? How to manage the recommendations? And these kind of questions. For the purpose of solve this issue, we start with a brainstorming. And step by step, our ideas became clear in our mind. Then we started building a complete algorithm in a paper just to make sure there was nothing that had not been taken in account. And when we had all of this, then we started making a more technical algorithm from the type of request that we were used to the type of every single variable in white. After some hours of overthinking about it, we consolidate the idea, and later the code use natural following. I'm proud to say that our code goes beyond the basics. We implement redundancy to prevent application crash in case of any issues. Additionally, we build support functions to ensure a smooth operation. To enhance security, we test the API against security validators. We also develop a comprehensive Docker installation, making it incredibly easy to run the back. It's worth mentioning that the application itself refreshes the information every single month, guaranteeing accuracy. We've implemented a central error handler and protect sensitive information using environment variables. Lastly, we create detailed documentation for every single function to ensure that any developer can easily understand how the API works. We use various tools for this project. We use TypeScript as the programming language, Node.js as the engine, and the Express framework. MongoDB serves as the database, and along with other tools with different purposes. Now, let me introduce the team behind this remarkable API. All of us work as developer in every single aspect of the application. And here you can see our LinkedIns. You want to check it out and go and see our profiles. And if you want to check our work, you can scan this QR code, which directly to the code. Thanks so much for your attention.
Thank you, Ovid.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you, Ovid. Congratulations. So let's move on with our special guests if they have questions about the back end for the group.
If
Andres.
you if you had had more time, what would you have done differently?
Well, probably we could add more features because the process that we used to build the API, I think that we just did the better that we could. Probably add more features could be the better thing if we could have more time.
What features?
Like, for example, if you provide me your location, I can send you a complete list of your environment.
Thank you. What about the other guest? Hernando.
I'm not completely sure that I got what is the database structure and what the technology are you using for the database. Can you expand on that, please?
Excuse me, can you repeat the question, please?
What is the database structure and what is the technology of the database that you are actually using? Are you using MySQL? What are you using? What is the structure of the database?
Well, our database structure, it's better to go to our README and you can check it out there. But in simple words, our database structure is just, we built all the places with a city, a country, and a category. And it's like there in MongoDB, you know that it's everything is for reference. And for that reason, there's a reference in each of those IDs to reference to the another ones.
Jose.
Yeah, thank you guys for working in this project. For the backend, you mentioned that you guys created documentation. Is this documentation in some shape or form as an API specification, or, for example, a Postman collection? What kind of documentation will you guys provide, let's say, to a front-end team that needs to consume your APIs?
Thanks a lot for your question. Well, at the first place, we have documentation of how you can install the API with Docker and with Node, how you can use it, what are the endpoints, what the endpoints can return, and everything you could need. And also, we provide documentation about the API validation, the API key, to ensure that everything could be more clear than possible.
Do you guys use any formats like Swagger, Postman collections, or some sort of integration?
Yes, we provide to the front-end team a Postman collection to test every single endpoint that they could need.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Trish.
Alex, go ahead. Alex?
One second. Yeah, sure. You guys mentioned that you were using the Google Maps API. I was wondering what for and how do you actually guys use it?
Yeah, sure. Well, we thought that the best way to acquire the top 10 places of any specific city could be the Google API key. Especially the API key of Google Maps, because it's like the most wide database that could have all the information that we could need. For that reason is that we use this information to create our data.
Great. Can you walk me through the process and how did you design the API? Like what considerations you took in order to define which endpoints are going to be exposed?
Sure. Well, at the first place, when we were starting, we just were overthinking so much about how can we provide the data, because that was like our biggest problem. And from the beginning, we was wondering if we could use the Google Maps API or another API that could provide us that information. And well, from the beginning, we started building the database structure with the models and everything. And later, when we have the structure, now the biggest problem was to fill the database. And for that reason is that the algorithm to fill the database was completely specific in every single step. We was used in so many meetings to overthink how can we build this algorithm to be the most specific possible in every single city that we could live. And after we had the algorithm, we could use it to fill the database, and later we just jump to build the endpoints. After that, if I could add something, excuse me, we built so many functions that we ensure that if something went wrong, the application don't crash, like check database and so many things.
Great. Good. Now, the only comment that I will have probably for you guys is to think about versioning of your API. I see that everyone has the same root. So probably attaching version 1 as part of the route of your endpoint. So that way you can, if in case you need to make some changes to the API, it doesn't create some break changes to the user that you already have. So think about in the future about how will you version the endpoints that you're exposing to your users. That would be great for next exercise.
Thanks, Carlos, for your recommendation.
Thank you, Ale.
Hey,
Go ahead, Santiago.
I'm curious about the recommendation part, right? Like I'm curious, like how do you think about the customer, like the final customer, right? Like the person who at the end we're going to use the API without knowing it was going to be an API, right? Like how do you think about recommending things to them? Like what were your parameters, or what, like how do you design that?
Well, sure. We try to make the most simple possible our API to a developer can simply useful. And for that reason, we, for example, to provide you a specific top places of a specific city, you can just give us a city and a category. That all categories are in the README in our documentation, all the categories that you could use in all the cities. And if you just provide us the city and the category, will give you the top 10 VIP top 10 places of this category in this specific city.
Okay.
A pleasure.
Well, thank you to the special guests. Thank you, Obed and group, for your presentation. Great job. Now we need to move on to our next group. The company is called Rise. We have also a front-end team and a back-end team. So Diorela says, congrats, back-end team. Thank you, Diorela. Yes, congratulations for both teams. Great job. Now we can continue with our front-end team with Laura Natalie. Where are you?
Good morning.
Hi.
Let me a second. Okay, good morning. Today is a very special day as I have the pleasure to introduce our capstone project. So let's start. Talking to some hobbies who are currently working, we asked how have been their job search process, and the factor that does not highlight was not having a tool that highlights their profiles and projects from other programmers to companies, because currently hiring in the world of software development is increasingly competitive. Based on the above, we have defined our objectives, and this led us to the following problem question. How can we optimize and streamline the hiring process for companies looking for a software developers? With this problem question in mind, we have designed Holby Talent Hub, an application that makes it easier for companies to hire qualified personnel in software development. A user-friendly application with a simple and optimal search, where you simply register your company and start the experience, making the selection of filters according to the developer profile you are looking for. And as a result, you will get hobbies that fit with the skills and characteristics you choose. From our platform, you can have a brief description of the select profile and the facility to contact them directly. If you want to obtain more detailed information about a profile, just click on it and you will get a description of the project's skills and much more. For users who are more traditional searches, we also have a section in which, with keywords such as a specific language you want the hobby to handle, you will get a wide selection of qualified profiles in that particular area. This is our page overviews, the home page, find profile, profiles, the hobby profiles, search, and the projects. For the technologies, they were Next.js, React, TypeScript, HTML, CSS, Git, and GitHub, of which we learned a lot during this month, and that helped us to culminate our capstone. The challenge we had in this process were excellent to help us meet the objective of which we are very proud. One of the most important challenges was how to structure our project, which we divide by domains. We have 3 domains located in order of access. These are located in the search folder inside the app, which will be company, professionals, and insigniam. The second step was to learn new technologies more focused on the front-end side. That, thanks to Holbertson and the immersive method, helped us to adapt and learn about these new technologies in a single week. And the third step, the time, because as we progress in the project, we want to implement more features into the page. But finally, we should only focus on what the company requested. The important thing is that the page is scalable. And last but not least, it is an honor for me to introduce for our front-end group that with effort and dedication we took this project forward. Yuraniel Chur, Luis Alejandro Puerta, and the speaker, Natalie Ortiz, and thank the company Cohort for the opportunity. Thank you.
Amazing, Nata. Congratulations. Great job.
Thank you.
Let's move on to questions from our special guests and also hobbies. We have here Holbis from Foundations. If you have any questions, you're more than welcome to participate.
When can I start using this? I need to start.
¿Qué dijo?
When can they start using this? That's an excellent question. Nata, que cuándo lo pueden empezar a usar.
Okay. It's a decision for the company Cohort.
Okay, then Natalie, I think it's important that you deploy. I think it's important for the front-end group to know how to go to the registrar, and redirect the. It's going to be talent.holbertoncorerise.com, and Juan David and Paula are going to assist you. But as I mentioned previously, is very important to deploy this and make it work, even if they still has some limited features. But I encourage you to finish the project deploying and redirecting the domain to start using it, because I think it's there is a lot of need for this, and this is why this project is very, very important. Thank you, and congratulations. Good job.
Thank you, Hernando. Leonardo?
Hi, the same comment that Andres, where we can use this is great idea. The design is really nice. I think it's a very easy to use tool that can help us to find the right talent. If you don't know me, I am a Holby from Cohort Time, and I'm working with Endava at this point, almost 3 years ago. And I think Slack and LinkedIn are good tools, but this is really simple with a focus on Holbis. So I think it's great. Maybe somebody can help us to push this initiative. Maybe we can have a version 1 in a few months or weeks. Thank you.
Thank you, Leonardo.
Thank you.
Yes, there's a need in our community for this to start working. Pau.
So hi team. Well, my question is not technical. It's more about your experience. How was the experience of working with this project? Because this project is going to help you also. So thinking in future, what other features do you think that this project can have? And yes, the first question is, how was your experience working with this project and side by side with the backend team?
Okay, the experience is okay, the experience in general for the company Cohort excellent, because because Juan Avila stay in this process and is very important for this part. More we is new technologies and a new world because in Holberton is more focused in backend. In this case, is for the project is front end. But the experience is really good.
And the other question was, what other features do you think that this application can have in the future? I don't know if maybe other of your team members can answer also, if they animate, encourage. Thank you, Nata.
Okay, the idea was to improve the filters, more filters for the profiles of for this.
I don't know if maybe another team member can answer also from other point of view. Don't be shame.
Durani or Luis Alejandro.
Can you read me the question, please?
Yeah, yes, sure. First, how was your experience working with this project? Because this application is going to help you as a hobby in the future. That is one question. And the other question is, what other features you think this application can have in the future, that maybe you think that can work with this?
Well, for experience, we have a really nice experience doing this project. We can work like a team. We have a good communication, and we can do the things that we want. And the features. Well, I think that this page can improve a lot, but in this moment, this is the beta version. I don't know like to say for the future.
Thank you, Luis Alejandro. And thank you, team. It's a great project. We're waiting for the deploy and start using it for career development, for code race, and all our partners is going to be very helpful. So thank you.
Santiago, go ahead.
Guys, this is great, and this is especially great for me because I lately I'm talking a lot with Paulina to get like some profiles, and I know like it's mostly through Excel or those kind of things, and now like in this way it would be amazing. I just want to ask you a couple of questions related to like the design and engagement, because it was fun. Like I don't know if you said these guys, but like how do you feed the profiles? Like they automatically like feed through LinkedIn or GitHub and everything. Like they feed to the platform, or do hobbies need to like go and fill out their profiles, right? That's the first question. The second is like, do you think like I don't know what you decided, if like people need to like fill it or like it automatically fills through LinkedIn. And if so, like if you chose the second rule, like how do you think about engagement? How are you gonna keep the profiles like updated? Just like that's my main question.
Okay, the first question is the selection of filters is manual, and the dates of profiles of the hobbies is by color. The database is se añade al programa, a la aplicación.
Okay, you mean it comes from
Santiago,
it comes from
I think, I think that just to complement at least what is the vision that we have for this application is to initially it's going to be populated from our database, from the Holberton database, and then the
Fernando?
the technologies that they are using, and that's not ready in this version. But in order to validate the technology that they are using, we are going to check in the GitHub, in their GitHub profile, in order to verify that if they are saying that they are working with Python, then that's going to be checked in the GitHub profile. And it's going to be connected to the LinkedIn too, to verify.
Santiago, I don't know if that answers your question because I know Hernando had a little bit of trouble with connection.
But I kind of got it. Like, yeah, I know the connection, but I kind of got it. Yeah, it's good. I mean, congratulations, guys. It looks pretty good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Santiago. So before we move on with the backend team of this project, I don't know if there are more questions.
I have only one technical question related with the use of Next.js. Why did you guys decide to go with a server-side render solution instead of a single-page application?
Okay, is a requirement of the company. This give the technologies that we need use. And it's that facilitate more the structure in the page.
Did that answer your question, Alex?
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's good enough for now.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you everyone for your interventions and comments. So now we have our last team from CodeRise backend. So Juan Esteban Duque is going to be our speaker whenever you're ready.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so hi everyone, my name is Juan Esteban, and today I have the pleasure to present the backend section of the Holby Talent Hub project for CodeRise. First of all, we need to discuss the objective of this project, which is to make possible the Talent Hub. We worked very hard creating the database that is going to allow us to store data from our Holbys and the companies that trust in our skills in order to initiate a recruitment process. We also took into account the connection of our API and its endpoints with the front-end project. I want to remark that this is still in process, and this is with the purpose of delivering a totally functioning application. Our database is made of 25 tables. I know it's a lot, but these tables are going to be divided in three principal parts in this presentation to explain better its structure. For the first part, we need to understand the users table. It is the one in the red circle. This table can contain two types of users that are the company profiles and the professional profiles that are going to be the Holbys. In this slide, we're going to focus on the company profile section, which has some attributes. As you can see, the ones that are in green, that are, for example, company multimedia, favorite profiles, etc. And connected to the users table are the messages section that will allow the company staff to communicate with the Holbys, as explained earlier with the front-end team. Now, this section is stuff for the professional profiles and its attributes. As you can see, these tables also comes from the users table. And as you remember, the profile is going to have certain information, like its education, experience, professional skills, and other attributes, as shown in green. All of these tables are the ones that are going to allow us store information in the database. And lastly, we have the projects related tables. The projects table has a lot of attributes, and that's why we decided to make a section for itself. Here, we can organize its information and its attributes in related tables, like table context, project ratings, project skills, etc. Now I will show the functionality of a use case. In this use case, the search engine component where the company will be able to search for professional profiles, giving some filters. In this case, the company searches for backend profiles, for example, that are currently residing in Cali and that know Python programming language. And on the right side, we can see that we get as a result the profiles that are matching the search. This information is linked and given to the front end, so it can be displayed and processed in the respective view of the filters section. Here's another use case. Here we're making a request using this registration endpoint that is going to allow us to create a company user with certain attributes, like in this case, basic information, like first name, last name. So this endpoint is going to link the new user with the company if it already exists. If not, it's going to create a new one. This means a new company profile. So for example, Holberton, or any company that wants to use the application. In the right side of the slide, you can see the user created with all the information that we posted previously. For the technologies we used, we decided to use TypeScript as our programming language. As our framework, we used Express.js. Our execution environment was implemented with Node.js. MySQL helped us with the database, and also aiming to have a clean and organized documentation, we used to use Swagger. And as version control systems of our code, we used Git and GitHub. In the challenges section, we decided to add the project and file structure because it's very important for the project organization and understanding. Due to the size of the project and aiming to have a clean and understandable code, we separated the project into 3 main folders, as you can see on the left: app, infrastructure, and share. For the app folder, we have the logic of the endpoints, which is the operation of our backend. In the infrastructure folder are the core services of the project, like the connection of our database. And in the share folder are the smaller services, such as password encryption. And talking about password encryption, other challenge that we came across into was the security of our app. Due to the amount of users and personal information that is going to be stored, we developed an encryption system aiming to keep all the information of our companies and the whole be secure. And finally, the team that developed and worked on this project were Felipe Villamizar, Andres Rodriguez, and me, Juan Esteban Duque. Thanks to everyone for your attention, and special thanks to CodeRise for trusting us this amazing and nurturing project.
Thank you, Juan. Good job. Great job. So, questions from our special guest, Holbees, ex-Holbees, everyone. You're more than welcome to participate.
Great job, guys. My first question would be, walk me through your rationale and how do you came up to a SQL database? How did you came up to that conclusion?
The database was, the company gave us a guide, so that's how we created all the APIs. So they gave us already the tables. We worked on them, but they were already on MySQL.
Okay, got it. Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you, Alex. Pau.
So, great job, team. So my question is basically the same with the front-end team is, but the question is this: how was the experience working with the front-end team side by side? Because in the backend we can make code and make the database, but visually we have some limitations. See what we are doing, but with the front end team, you can also make the connections and see what the endpoints, the information that the endpoints bring to the application. So how was that experience that you can see in the front end, the functionalities of the backend?
Okay, the experience was challenging, but it was really good. We learned a lot, and we were lucky to have a team like the front end team because we were always communicating. So we had the chance to also like make testing and be in close contact with the front end team. So that's how we could came up with a really good project.
Thank you. Maybe another member team.
Yeah, the experience was good, and we were together. We used LiveShare as a tool to work at the same time, and the experience with the company Cohort was excellent. All good. Thank you.
Thank you, Felipe. I see Andres Barreto is raising his hand.
With what you know now at the end of the project, if you could go back and start the project again, what would you do different?
I think maybe the organization of the project, because we changed a lot during the project. Like, for example, the file structure, also some endpoints we were testing because, well, this was our, let's say, first big project for a company. So we feel that we changed a lot the project and the project structure. So with the information we have now and what we learned, I think that we could came up with a better structure and better organization from the beginning.
Thank you, Juan. Hernando?
First, congratulations. I know that it was challenging and it was a short term in order to accomplish a lot. My question is, if you already push the code into the server, into the droplet, because as I mentioned to Natalie, we would like to have that project live today. At the end of the day, then is the already deployed in the server? Is going to do it today. But again, congratulations. We are anxious to start using it, at least for testing.
Okay, thanks. And yes, the project is already deployed. We used Railway as for deployment, but we're still working on the connection with the front end. So because it's a lot of information, so we're already connecting the endpoints and all the information, but that's still in process. We hope that we're gonna have that connection soon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hernando. Thank you, Juan. I see Leonardo.
Yes, hi. I think I'm going to switch to Spanish just a little for a moment. Sorry about that, because I just want to make sure everyone's get the idea. Excelente trabajo a todos. Quisiera compartirles en 2 minutos, minuto y medio, algunas recomendaciones generales a los 4 equipos. Creo que en general lo hicieron excelente. Recordemos que es un trabajo de un mes, mes y medio máximo, en donde no es hacer el proyecto únicamente, sino es aprender cómo hacer el proyecto, hacerlo y de una vez aprender a trabajar en equipo para un proyecto, digamos, de mayor envergadura a los que normalmente hacemos en Foundations. Entonces, creo que es un mes, mes y medio difícil de aprendizaje de hard skills, de soft skills, y al final tener que entregar algo es difícil, y creo que los 4 equipos lo lograron. Soy Holby de la cohorte 10 de Foundation, cohorte 12 de Machine Learning, y quisiera darles unos cuantos tips, recomendaciones para ese futuro profesional que viene de ahora en adelante, teniendo en cuenta que van a hacer especialización y posiblemente algunos trabajen, pero en general el principal consejo que les doy es el inglés. Creo que el nivel de inglés ha sido bueno en algunos, muy bueno en otros de quienes presentaron. Pero para todos, por favor, tengan en cuenta eso. El inglés hoy en día es un filtro, pasa o no pasa. Si no hay un nivel de inglés comunicacional que nos podamos hacer entender, que podamos expresar nuestras ideas como lo hemos hecho hoy, va a ser difícil que estemos en una buena compañía, va a ser difícil que tengamos trabajos bien remunerados. Entonces, por favor, tengan eso en cuenta. No es un nice to have, es un debemos tener el nivel de inglés conversacional y creo que eso no es negociable ya en nuestro medio. Una recomendación para futuros speech. Uno o dos presentadores está bien, pero si el equipo está compuesto de más de dos o de más personas aparte de los que presentan, creo que es bueno y saludable para todos que al menos los que no presenten pronto puedan responder preguntas o hacer algún comentario al final con el fin de que todos tengan visibilidad. Recordemos que este es un espacio de visibilidad, en este momento es interno, pero a futuro va a ser con empresas externas, entonces creo que allí es importante que todos se muestren como profesionales. Este es un espacio, así sean 30 segundos, en donde cada uno puede mostrar qué hizo, qué sabe, cuál es su interés y por ahí derecho el nivel de inglés que cada uno tiene. Y por último, pues digamos que salimos de Foundations, somos juniors la mayoría cuando salimos, posiblemente algunos ya tengan alguna experiencia, pero la gran mayoría no. Eso quiere decir que como juniors debemos aprender y aprender rápido y esa yo creo que es una de las principales virtudes como Holbis, que podemos aprender y aprender muy rápido lo que tengamos enfrente. Una muestra son estos 4 proyectos que pudieron hacer en un mes o menos. Pero recordemos que ser senior no es solamente la parte técnica. Ser senior también son los soft skills. Entre esos está la comunicación asertiva. Allí está el inglés. Trabajo en equipo, que podamos entender diferentes formas de trabajo de otras personas y podamos lograr un objetivo común. Así de pronto tengamos formas de trabajar muy diferentes. Y en general, los soft skills tienen que ver cómo es desempeñarse como persona fuera del código y podemos lograr lo que nos proponemos. Entonces, por favor, pues para que tengan en cuenta esas recomendaciones de alguien que ya pasó por este camino y que en este momento pues les quiere dar como esas pautas para que las tengan en cuenta. Muchas gracias.
Leonardo, mil y mil gracias. Tips muy importantes para todos que deben tener en cuenta en su proceso y aprovechar los meses que siguen aquí en Holberton para seguir trabajando en esos soft y hard skills. Saben que este es un ambiente seguro en donde si se equivocan no va a pasar nada, no va a pasar absolutamente nada. Aquí estamos es para poder aprender y seguir creciendo. ¿Listo? Entonces, gracias de verdad por ese feedback. Lo valoramos muchísimo. Let's move on con Santiago.
I will keep speaking in English so you keep guys the
Yes.
dynamic. Okay. So I just want to come back to Leonardo's recommendations, right? The first one, of course, English. But like I've been talking with Paulina a lot. Like we usually recommend senior engineers with like 5+ years of experience, but sometimes we get projects where like they need like somebody with 2 or 3 years of experience, and we come back to hobby. And I've seen a couple of things that like make some hobbies stand out and others not, right? So one thing that I think is super important is your GitHub. You need to keep your GitHub active. Like that's like I've seen that like Silicon Valley like startup founders, technical like CDOs, whatever, they love people who are active in their GitHub. Because imagine this, like these people went to Harvard. These people, like these founders in like US companies usually went to Harvard. Usually they went to Stanford. Usually they went to MIT. So like the only way for like they think of other universities or coding bootcamps as like, you know, it's not MIT, it's not Harvard, it's not Stanford. They think like that. So if you want to stand out, the only way that they see like that you are really active and that your code is amazing. So if you keep contributing in like GitHub with personal projects, you contribute to the projects of other people, even you just do it like 20 or 30 minutes a day, that's that's great for them because it shows that you are passionate about coding, right? So that's super important. Like I've seen like many great profiles, like I send them and they say, no, you know, their GitHub is not good. Okay. So like that's the main one. And please do it because I you know, like your teachers from Holberton and everything, they say like, oh, we tell this to the students, but they don't listen to that. And that's super important. And usually like they see a lot of the map in the GitHub, like the map with the green dots. And if you have a lot of green dots, that's like a good, like a red light from a green light for them. A green light for them. It's amazing for them, right? So that's my first recommendation. The second one is have context. Like try to follow, like some people have the opportunity to live in San Francisco or in New York and are closer to the startups that are like leading the digital revolution and everything. But if you are in Medellin or you are in Bogota or wherever, doesn't matter. Like we are in a digital town hall right now, right? So like you can just go to Twitter and follow like famous coders, the CEO of these companies that you admire in the US and everything, because they usually like share amazing content, right? Like they are the top thinkers of technology. So follow these people because sometimes like I remember like 2 weeks ago I was recommending a hobby to a role in an AI startup in New York. And he was asking me a question that he shouldn't ask me. Like he was asking me like, why should I work in an AI startup? And like why not in a corporate in Medellin or this kind of thing? Like he was very afraid of it. And the reason I would say is because maybe he's just around the people who work in like big companies like Bancolombia or Confama or these kind of things. And once, like, if you are in that context, maybe it may feel so risky to work for a US company, right? But if you are in the context of like following people in Twitter or following people in LinkedIn, like are sharing amazing content and are like the top technology thinkers, you are gonna start thinking like them, right? You are gonna start reading their content, like having their thoughts. So having context is also very important. And the third that I would say is just do personal projects, like be active with personal projects and be active with the trend. If people are talking about ChatGPT, just do a project with a ChatGPT API. If people are talking about Pinecone, do a project with Pinecone, LangChain, like use this all trendy stuff because it also shows to like future employers. And I'm talking about mostly startups. If you're gonna work maybe consulting, they don't see that much. But if you are looking to work in a startup, in the future, I don't know, in a company like Twilio or Stripe or something like that, remote, like they look at these kind of things a lot. They want hackers, so keep being a hacker. That's my 3 recommendations.
Santiago, thank you so much for those recommendations. Thank you. I hope everyone, if you guys were able to take notes, to pay attention, very valuable information for our hobbies that are still in foundation, from our hobbies that are in career development right now, and maybe you need to work on something else to be visible, and from today our cohort 19 who are finishing their training with us. Thank you so much, Santiago. We really appreciate this feedback and also your time, and all our special guests. Thank you for your time. Thank you. Muchas gracias. De verdad, agradecemos mucho su tiempo. Sabemos que ustedes también tienen su agenda y haber sacado como este espacio para estar aquí, compartir con nuestros hobbies, dar el feedback que necesitan, escucharlos. Es muy importante para todos nosotros, para el desarrollo de nuestros participantes. Con esto entonces quiero felicitar a todos nuestros hobbies de la cohorte 19 por haber terminado su entrenamiento de Foundations estos 9 meses. Felicidades a todos. Se acabó, disfruten, se vienen unas semanas de descanso, por fin, sí. Cada uno, bueno, si están en las sedes, entonces ahí van a poder estar con el equipo compartiendo un rato. Y bueno, a todas las personas que entraron, que nos están viendo, muchísimas gracias por conectarse. A las personas que no conocen Holberton, pues de pronto es una oportunidad para conocernos, para probar nuestro programa que tenemos como part-time, también en Foundations. Si quieren ser desarrolladores, por favor, entren a nuestra página y empiecen el proceso de admisión. Tenemos un mes de prueba para ver si esto se acomoda a sus expectativas. Entonces, muchísimas gracias, Holby. Y ahora sí, a disfrutar, terminaron. Gracias a todos por su tiempo. Felicidades.
Muchas gracias a todos, que tengan un excelente día.
Gracias. Adiós.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
I'm just gonna be.